First up, the big story, Modi 3.0 government. Rishika completes 100 days in power. In fact, government says major reforms were implemented across several sectors over the last 100 days. In fact, decisive steps taken in the first 100 days is the claim that has been made by the government led by Prime Minister Modi. In fact, the central government, they're saying that much has been done for women, youth, farmers, and across several key focus areas.
Well, absolutely. The opposition, of course, Radhika, has hit out saying that, the first 100 days of Modi 3.0 has been marked by several U-turns, in fact, but new laws have been introduced in July, replacing the criminal era law. So the BNS, of course, has been one of the big headlines as far as the Modi government is concerned. Free insurance up to 5 lakh rupees to all senior citizens, age 70 and above, which was the most recent decision that was taken, has also been widely appreciated, across the scheme. The unified pension scheme that was launched, benefiting 23 lakh employees, according to government estimates. So a lot has been done with the focus on jobs, startups as well. Radhika, it's going to be interesting to see how the government actually now positions this among the masses. And to talk more about what is the government's plan of action, we have Vasudha Venugopal joining us live with the very latest. Vasudha, you accessed that interesting document yesterday, which actually in a certain sense details out the Modi government's plan of action to take the message forward to the people in terms of what work the government has done in the first 100 days. And it is a coalition government, so it's actually NDA 3.0 in a certain sense. But break it down for us. What are some of the big achievements that the government wishes to talk to the people about at this point?
Well, good morning, Rishika. Good morning, Radhika. So today is an important day for the government. Modi 3.0 finishes 100 days in power. And even before the elections were held, the Prime Minister actually met with his Council of Ministers and also secretaries then, and he made it very clear that the first 100 days of his third term are going to be, agenda setting. They are going to be, they are going to usher in reforms. And he has given a new mantra to his bureaucrats and to his ministers. He has told them in his first Council of Ministers that they have to perform, reform, transform, and inform. The focus is not just on performing, but also on informing people as to what work the government is doing. So clearly, that seems to be the focus of the government. The government has made it very clear. In fact, it has released a statement yesterday saying that projects up to an outlay of 15 lakh crore have been announced in the last 100 days, of which a bulk of this is with regard to infrastructure. So if you look at the Vadhavan project that's coming up in Maharashtra, or the Sikundla Tunnel, which basically connects Himachal Pradesh to Ladakh. So these are some important infrastructure projects. There are also Vande Bharat trains. Yesterday, the Prime Minister gave an interesting statistic. He said that there's been one Vande Bharat train that has been launched in every 15 days in the last 100 days. So that is very interesting. There are also metro rails which have begun in cities like Pune, several parts of Bengaluru. So yesterday we saw the Prime Minister talking, inaugurating the rapid rail in between Ahmedabad and Bhuj. So clearly the focus seems to be on infrastructure. The focus seems to be on jobs, because a huge program, almost 2 lakh crore worth, has been inaugurated, has been launched to help youngsters, unemployed youngsters, find jobs within the private sector. So clearly that is one area that the government wants to focus on. It has made it very clear that its focus is also on women. So Lakpati Didis, getting more women into the workforce is something that is the focus for it. And of course, the two most important decisions that the Prime Minister took immediately after coming to power. One is 3 crore housing, approving 3 crore housing. And the second is approving the 17th installment of the Kisan Samman Nidhi. So clearly these two things are important. Policy-wise, Ayushman Bharat, the benefits of Ayushman Bharat, the government's most important flagship health insurance scheme being extended to everyone who's 70 plus, is a big policy decision. And in terms of ideology, I think the Waqf Act, the amendments to the Waqf Act that have been introduced by the government shows that it doesn't want to be on the back foot, even if it's not like a complete majority government when it comes to its own politics. That is one thing that the Narendra Modi government has made it very clear. So I remember in 2019, the focus was so much on the Ram Temple, and of course, the CA came about in August 5th, Article 370. So a lot of focus was on getting their basics right. It was a government with an ideology, but now they seem to be far more short-footed when it comes to governance, and that seems to be the focus.
Right.
And today,
also what I wanted to ask was the substantial concerns that have been raised by the opposition. The opposition has called the government weak, calling them a government that is making a lot of U-turns, unstable, marked with instability, something they have said, indecisiveness. So what are some of the substantial concerns that have been raised by the opposition at this point, even as Modi government, has achieved 100 days here?
I think the three most important concerns that the opposition has raised is, one is it is alleging that the government is going back on a lot of decisions that it has been taking. The second thing, it basically says that, there have been security threats, there have been encounters in the Kashmir Valley, which is actually true. And the third thing is they feel that geopolitically India has been isolated. The Indo-China policy needs to be better defined. With regard to the first point, there have been U-turns by the government. Nobody is denying when it comes to lateral hiring policy, or for that matter, even the broadcasting bill, or a couple of other things. But remember that the government also wants to be more consultative now. The government wants to put in, a very representative figure, which is why the lateral hiring announcement was taken back, because the Prime Minister feels that there needs to be more SC, OBC representation in bureaucracy, and which is why for the first time as a reporter, I feel there are almost 10 to 12 secretaries in the union government which come from deprived sections of the society. This has never happened in the past. So clearly the government seems to be working on that front. When it comes to the broadcasting bill, I understand that the ministry officials did go through the bill and they found it to be wanting in terms of a lot of clauses. They didn't want it to become controversial because it had very strict clauses for influencers. So that is something that the government did not want to do. So I would see it as the government did not government not wanting to make not wanting to usher in into fresh controversy. So this is a cautious government, but at the same time it is making no bones about being clear that ideology and politics matter to it, and of course its focus seems to be completely on governance.
Well, absolutely, and big ticket reforms, Vasudha, whether it is the talk of uniform civil code, which has been implemented in one state already but being mulled at least in 5 different states, as we know, or whether it is, the one nation, one election story that you broke about 48 hours ago. I think those are some of the big ticket reforms that the government is incumbent upon working towards in the coming days of this term of the NDA 3.0. It's going to be very interesting, Radhika, to see how this plays out. Thanks very much, Vasudha, for joining us. Akhilesh has also sent us a report on what this 100-day plan of action looks like. Let's take a look.
Well, it's a big day as far as the BJP and the government is concerned. Today, Modi 3.0 completes the first 100 days in the office. And apart from that, today is also Prime Minister Narendra Modi's 74th birthday. For that, BJP has chalked out nationwide programs for the next 15 days. And as far as the government is concerned, party is saying that in the first days, the BJP and the government was able to deliver the promises made in the run-up to the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. Of course, it was a setback that the BJP on its own could not get the majority, but still the party is trying to send a very clear message that the government is not working under any pressure. It is the continuation of the same policies and the agenda which was declared by the BJP before coming to power in 2014. So for the past 10 years, the same policies are being continued. Of course, there can be a modification or tweaking somewhere in the policies, but broadly, the policies and the agenda will continue. And as far as the alliance pressure is concerned, the party sources are very clear that since 2014, this was a coalition government and alliance partners were also part of the government since 2014. So there's no question of buckling under any pressure. And yesterday also Prime Minister Narendra Modi was very clear that he has never buckled under any pressure. So he will continue to do whatever he has been doing, and he will continue to work for the welfare of the country. Government managers are saying in the first 100 days, more than 15 lakh crores projects were cleared by the Modi government. So that shows the speed which the Modi government is working in its third tenure. And they're also saying that all the different sections of the society were touched by the first 100 days decisions. This is also as far as the BJP's promise made in the manifesto. And they are also saying that as far as the opposition parties are concerned, the way Rahul Gandhi has attacked Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the foreign soil, that also shows the weakness as far as the opposition parties are concerned. So BJP will continue to be aggressive as far as the opposition onslaught is concerned. And as far as the alliance pressure is concerned, BJP is saying that there is no pressure, and PM Modi and his government will continue to work the way they have been doing for the past 10 years.